What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our Big Ten football channel. ESPN recently updated their FPI rankings, and we are going to break down the ranking for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Not the second highest rated team in the FPI, which was a surprise. I think Penn State clearly is the number 2 team in the Big Ten coming into this season. But the FBI is still really high on this team. Let's show you exactly where they have them ranked and what their ranking is. So the FBI rating for Penn State is 23.3. That means that against a neutral, on a neutral field against an average opponent, they would win by 23.3 points. That's a pretty good number. And then their rank is number 7. So they're the number 7 team in the FBI, which is probably, that's about right, I think, for Penn State. The head scratcher again is Wisconsin being ranked ahead of them. But no, Penn State number 7, pretty good spot, I think. The FBI has them pegged pretty well, and the projected record I think is pretty accurate also. 10.1 and 2.2, so they're projecting them to go 10-2 roughly. It could be a little better if they were to make it to the Big Ten championship game. Perhaps they get to 11 wins, but that's pretty much what the average is here. 10-2 for Penn State. Probably not going to make it to the Big Ten championship game if you look at how they go game by game, because Ohio State is the team that's favored there. But we'll show you what chance they have in just a second. They have a 4% chance of going undefeated. That would include the conference championship game. So the Big Ten championship game, that would be 13-0, winning every single regular season game and winning the Big Ten championship game. Only a 4% chance of doing that. And when you look at the schedule, you can see how it's not very likely that Penn State's going to go 13-0, but they do have a 100% chance of going to a bowl game, getting to 6 wins. So that's good news. And I think that is probably pretty accurate as well, because there are not enough real challenges on this schedule to say that this team has any real chance of not making a bowl game. And I'll show you the whole schedule in just a second. But they do give them a 100% chance of getting to a bowl game, at least 6 wins. How about winning the division, winning the Big Ten East? They have a 29.1% chance of winning the Big Ten East. A pretty high number there when you think about it, especially with Ohio State being in that division. So yeah, Penn State's at 29.1. Ohio State was at 68.7. That doesn't leave much room for anyone else. So it's pretty clear the FBI thinks it's going to be Ohio State or Penn State in the East. And then they have a 15.2% chance of winning the Big Ten championship game, winning the conference, which is less than half of the chance that Wisconsin has. Wisconsin had a 33.1% chance of winning the Big Ten. But then, of course, Ohio State, the clear favorites at 49.3%. But yes, Penn State with a decent shot there, 15.2%. But how about this? They have a better chance of making the playoff at 23.2%. 23% chance of making the college football playoff. And I think that the reason that number is so much higher than winning the conference is because you look at the path where they could go 11-1, lose a close game to Ohio State. Ohio State finishes in the top 4. Penn State could sneak in there without even playing in the Big Ten championship game. And that is a very real scenario. And then you have a 9.5% chance of this team not only making the college football playoff, but then advancing to the national championship. So a 9.5% chance of making it to the national championship game. That is a pretty high number. I believe that goes right along with their ranking at number 7. And then we also look at their chances to win a national championship this year, to win it all, 3.5%. So a 3.5% chance that this team will win the national championship in 2020-21. That's not a very big number, but it's at the same. It is, it's when you talk about all the teams in college football, all the contenders, 3% is not bad, especially for a team that has yet to even make it to the college football playoff. We look at the schedule now, and going game by game, you see only one game where they are underdogs according to the FPI. Just a 38.2% chance of beating Ohio State, but that game's at home. Don't count them out. Don't count them out in that game. One of the more interesting games to me is that game in week 2 on the road at Virginia Tech. Well, they have a 71.4% chance of winning that game. Michigan's at 71.5%. Those two road games are really going to be, they're probably, if they go 10-2, they'll probably lose to Ohio State, and they'll probably lose one of those two games. But when you look at the back half of the schedule, or the last 5 games, Indiana, Nebraska, Michigan State, Maryland, and Rutgers. They are big favorites in all those games. Although, actually, look at Indiana, 74.6%. So the FPI does respect Indiana. Not quite as small of a percent chance as the Michigan and Virginia Tech games, but it's pretty close, just about 3% more there. So that could be another game, especially right after playing Ohio State. So the FBI sees that. But they've got them as big favorites against even Iowa, 87%, 86% against Northwestern. And then those final 3 games of the season, 94% or higher. So if they can get through that Ohio State game, that Indiana game with just 1 loss, could be a really special year for Penn State. So that's what the FBI thinks about it. What do you think about it? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports YouTube channel.